Hey guys, we're back again at about 15 to actually about 12:45 p.m. So kind of out of phase from the daylight savings time, as I'm sure everyone else is as well. Yeah, I still like Reki because of all the harassment and it's causing emotional pain and suffering and everything. But anyways, um, what I want to talk about now is comparing the cycle of abuse to the cycle of harassment that's going on and including the cycle of my drinking, which never occurred to me until I was walking to the store and coming back, which is interesting but true. Uh, like I mentioned, the cycle of abuse goes through a bunch of phases and so forth. It goes through the so called honeymoon stage, and it also goes through a lot of stages as well. The honeymoon stage is a quiet stage where the abuser basically is all nice talking and everything to you, blah, blah, blah. Then that's the first stage, the honeymoon stage, in the cycle of abuse. And the second stage is the tension building stage. Which basically when walking eggshells, afraid of what the abuser or might do toward you. If you say something you're afraid of lashing out and so forth and all that. And then of course the third stage is of course the stage where the abuse occurs. Abuse escalates. So it comes to these three cycles of abuse: the honeymoon phase or the quiet phase, or the time of peace and quiet, in my case with the harassing neighbors. Peace and quiet for me. And the tension building stage where the harassment starts up and everything and all this stuff starts happening. And of course, the escalation stage at its peak, which I'm going through right now. I've never seen this bad before. The cycle of abuse is very interesting, and comparing it to the cycle of harassment I'm going through, it's the same kind of thing. Goes through a quiet phase, goes through a tension building phase, seeing footsteps by my window, for instance, seeing a cigarette right by my door, things like that. People knocking on my door and walking away is one of the examples for tension building. And the escalation stage is when things happen when someone throws something on my door and yells at me, directly threatening me, or just standing outside my door, just standing there. That's an example, which is the abuse escalating. In my case, the harassment escalating at its peak. And the thing is, both of them are very similar when it comes to cycle abuse. But also, during me walking to the store, it also explains my cycle of drinking. Like during the times when it's quiet, I'm doing active things in the community, I'm happy, I'm doing good. And the abusers get jealous and they start conspiring and everything to bring me down, and they do. It's the same cycle. The cycle of abuse is the same cycle of harassment and the cycle of my drinking, which never occurred to me. Makes sense why I went kind of lost around New Year's Day when the harassment was starting to escalate in December. It has been up and down all the time through the years, so you know. But now all these people involved in the group and so forth. Cycle of abuse, cycle of harassment, cycle of my drinking, coincides with the abuse escalating as well. Drink all the time, they say. That's a little crap and lies. I like having my coffee in the morning. I like having my tea. I like basically doing things that are healthy. As you guys know, before the harassment started escalating, I was in a juicing kick. I was having tea all the time. I was enjoying my coffee, being active in the community. But these abusive harassers, these harassing, abusive, jealous, very illegally oriented neighbors, this one group of people, get jealous, and then they start the harassment, drag me down and everything. So they know the cycle, and I know the cycle, and now the authorities know the cycle. So I go and drink and binge You guys have to think, especially authorities for OCH, the safety services and the police and so forth involved. You guys have to be aware too. This is going up in a binge drinking again. What's happening? Are the neighbors giving a hard time? Harassment going up to the wall again. So it never occurred to me that's when the binges happen, when the harassment goes up again. And believe me, it's up to its peak, up to the max. So that's very interesting. And as I've said before, the penalty for harassment, which is basically general knocking the door and everything, all that from that person, but we'll get them. That is going to be okay. It could go coincide with criminal harassment as well, but there's a difference between criminal harassment and general harassment. Okay, criminal code. We'll talk about this again. Why not? To get you through your heads. There's criminal harassment, which directs to the neighbor who stands outside my door lurking there. No person shall, without lawful authority and knowing that another person is harassed, or recklessly as to whether the other person is harassed, engage in conduct referred in subsection 2, that causes the other person reasonably, in all circumstances, to fear for the safety or the safety of anyone known to them. Repeatedly following them from place to place, the other person or anyone known to them. That's guy, you guys are in trouble for that. Be setting or watching the dwelling house or place where the other person or anyone known to them resides, works, carries on business, or happens to be, or engaging in threatening contact directed at the other person, any member of their family. Punishment is very grave for this. Imprisonment for a term not exceeding 10 years, and that's one of the things, especially when it comes to emotional pain and suffering. And speaking of emotional pain and suffering, that's usually provable as well. Sexual harassment, criminal harassment, emotional pain and suffering. Now, believe me, it is happening. Emotional pain and suffering, which will indicate more jail time for the people inflicting the harassment. Emotional pain and suffering. We'll talk about that now, might as well. These are results for emotional pain and suffering. Emotional pain and suffering refers to the experience of intense negative emotions like sadness, grief, anxiety, anger, shame, or guilt, which can feel like a painful sensation even though it's not physically located in the body. It can significantly impact one's mental and physical well-being, often stemming from traumatic events, loss, or difficult life situations, or in cases of harassment, abuse or trauma, and so forth. So that's another thing, which is easily provable through all the medical tests I've been through of losing so much weight. I was starting to gain weight back in January. I won't be surprised I'm losing the weight again since the harassment's going up the wall. And yeah, you guys have no idea who I'm messing with it. I'm sick and tired of it. I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to be forced into something or try to be forced into something that is against my will. I got some videos here I have to check out before I erase them. And is this evidence of some neighbor come to my place? Oh yeah, maybe that's the guy. Okay, this could be the guy. And he goes seeing the drug dealer, the guy who beat me up. That could be the guy. So we got a physical appearance. That could be the idiot. But he's just standing outside the door of that person who abused me, insulted me, he's just standing there. So nothing else, just standing there. So that's kind of weird, doing the same kind of thing. Strange. Go figure. Anyways, yeah, I have to go through his videos, which is going to be traumatizing, but good information for the police and so forth. So that's the main thing that counts. So yeah, just want to give update of things going on. Yeah, every time I relapse, when this harassment goes up the wall, it is so hard to go back to normal. You can't go cold turkey. You have to cut down slowly. That's the thing that is kind of really infuriating. You have to go. You can't go cold turkey. See just what happened in Sioux. God knows what else. You have to cut down slow, which sucks. So I can't go cold turkey. I have to cut down slow. It's kind of obvious I have a bit of OCD there, obviously. Well, obviously I have OCD, but leave that for another time. Where I repeat myself or rewind a scene 20, 30 times or something like that. But even the paramedics know that. So, yeah, that's about it. Take care, make rich, and we'll talk to you guys soon. All the snow has melted from the trees. It's too bad I never got out to record that or take pictures of the beautiful snow on the trees all over. But it is what it is. Spring is coming. We got something to look forward to. Take care.